Hi, I'm Mark. Welcome back to Foothill Paint Fabrication. Well, we're right back on Project Ruby, but before we jump into what we're going to be doing on today's video, I want to give a huge thank you to all of you that sent your heartfelt condolences about the loss of my dog, Jake. He meant the world to me, and I really appreciate it, but we do need to soldier on. As you can see here, I've got some snow in the mountains, mountain not far from me, and the grass along the new fence line is growing fast. I need to do some spraying, so I'm trying to balance work around the property and work in the shop and getting to work on Ruby. So we do need to hit it pretty hard and get some stuff done. So let's go ahead and do a quick update. We're going to look at the fenders, we're going to look at the quarter panel, look at Ruby in general, and then we're going to do a quick update on the spreadsheet. And then we're going to get in the trunk. We're going to jump in Ruby's trunk, and I've got some upholstery work that needs to be done. Not actual upholstery work, we just need to do some preliminary work for the upholstery that's going to come who knows when in the future here. So let's go ahead and take care of these updates, and then we'll jump in there and get to work. Okay guys, not much of an update, just a really quick one. We're now at $8,480.95. I've added almost $1,000. I picked up one-piece products, one-piece door glass kit. I'll be eliminating the wind wings on the doors. I'm not a big fan of them anyways. They just whistle. I don't really use them. So that was $985. I just picked that up at the end of January. So I do have one update on OPGI. They're really bad about getting back to me when my back order items will be shipped. But the quarter glass run channel, I believe, is due to ship today or tomorrow. So hopefully that's going to show up. I don't need it right now. What I really need is the radiator support. But I haven't heard nothing from them on that. So we are $8,500, so not too bad. A lot of expensive stuff still to buy. So it'll be interesting to see what this number ends up at the end of this project. All right, let's get back at it. Okay, here's Ruby's passenger fender we've been slugging away at, and it is done, at least all the major work. I'm sure when we start prepping for epoxy, little things are going to show up on the car, the other fenders, and everything else. So, but we do have the major work done. So we got that part done up front. We got the patch panel down here. We took care of all those slide hammer marks. I found another little dent over here, and just recently I did the antenna hole. It's got a couple little low spots right there, but I can't get back behind there to hammer them out because there's a brace underneath there. But it's fine, a little bit of filler won't hurt it. And then I went ahead and did a patch panel right where that dent was. I tried everything I thought I could think of to try to pull that dent out, but ultimately I had to do a patch panel. And this line right here is the one that mattered most to me, right where the hood goes. So, and that came out really nice. So it came out really good. I know the camera's not showing it. There you go. But it's going to take a little bit of filler right here along this line, a little bit just to smooth it out. But all in all, it came out well. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I talked about trying to do something about the fatiguing, and both of them cracked in the same spot right here. So I made a piece and spot welded it in on both of them. So that should eliminate that, that fatigue cracking like we had. You know, and obviously it probably wouldn't have cracked until I was dead, but you know, might as well take care of it for the next guy, I guess. So these fenders are really ready as far as the major work to be done. Now I have some cosmetic stuff I want to do to them, or I'm thinking about doing. So as you can see here, the inner fender well goes right here. That's the top of the fender right there. So these little details they put in for strength right here, I'm thinking about cutting some plates and laying them so they're flush and then welding those in. And then this seam right here where the fender meets the inner brace, I'm thinking about trimming that back and then running a bead the whole length of this thing and then grinding that over nice and smooth. It's purely aesthetics. This is going to be, you know, a really nice RestoMod show car. I hope to win at least one trophy, even at a small show. But I think I'm throwing that idea around. And there's going to be some other cosmetic stuff. As you can see here, this piece was spot welded together, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to go ahead and weld that seam in and then grind that flush, so you can't see, you won't see that. So, but you guys let me know what you think of that idea. I'm really leaning towards doing that. Obviously it's more time, but you know, it is what it is. So let's move over to the quarter panel. This quarter panel has really worked me to death. It was hard to reach a lot of that stuff and get it done. and I'm not thrilled with it, but I'm pretty happy with it. I'm content, I guess I could say, you know, but it did come out pretty good. In fact, part of the time I realized I was fighting a defect that was in the stamp, because when I finally compared it to the other side, I realized that the other side has the same kind of little ripple right here where this quarter panel or the fender well comes down and comes up. There's a little wave right there, and I think that's just part of the stamp, and I was fighting that, trying to get it out. So it came out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Like I said, not super thrilled, but you know, it's going to take some filler, and I just have to accept that. So just a little quick brief reminder of what it looked like, the one we cut off. I just had this out because I was measuring some holes for our emblem, and you guys can see here, this thing was body filler and slide hammer holes and rust from the door to the bumper. So it was pretty bad, pretty bad. And that's most of the body filler ground off. You guys remember, I ground about a shovelful off of that thing. But I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. Did a little work back here, and I even worked on the other quarter panel. Of course, you guys know we did that little dent on the corner already, and then I had a little dinger right here on the lip of the fender well. And that's pretty much it. I think I'm not going to jinx myself, I hope, by saying I think this one's pristine. So let's go ahead. Oh, and by the way, Ruby's condition as being in bare steel this long, as you guys can tell, that tint has been that same color tint since I picked it up. So I'm not having a big problem, even with those storms coming through. The humidity in the shop's hanging right around 50%. So we're not having a huge problem with rust or any problem as far as I can tell. So, but I am, you know, itching to get some spraying done. So we do need to move forward. And to do that, before we can put Ruby on the rotisserie, this firewall needs to be cut off and put on. As you guys can see over here, I got the hydro boost kind of mocked up. That's not in the correct position, but I was doing some measuring. It needs to go lower. And then I have the master cylinder for the clutch to go in as well. So there's some work to be done, but we do need to cut. We're going to cut along that line to get that removed. But it needs to be on the cart that's stable before I can do that. But that's going to be coming up, hopefully really soon. I'm getting tired of knocking out dents, to tell you the truth. Let's go ahead and jump in the trunk, and we're going to talk about the plan for Ruby's upholstery. Okay, so I want Ruby's trunk to be as clean and nice as the interior, or nice as the rest of the car. And to do that, we have to modify it, obviously. You know, I want to put some sort of panel right up in here. And to do that, we're going to have to put some tabs for that panel to go on. And I'm not going to use wood. I'm leaning towards just making custom fiberglass panels. I'm quite sure I can handle it. It's not that big a deal. So it would come up like this and possibly curve up towards the lip over here. And then we'll have to put a tab or something up underneath here as well. And then have it come over all the way back to where the tail light is, and then all the way up to the fender well, inner fender well here. Now the problem is, I don't know if you guys can see this lip right here, that's actually lined up and it would work out well. The huge problem is the driver's side fender well is totally different shape. Why they did it that way, I've always been scratching my head all these years why they're different, but they are, and that's just the way it is. We'll have to work around it. But I think the first thing we want to do is figure out these tabs, figure out the shape of this thing, and then we can start you know, mocking up the panel and cut it out of cardboard. And ultimately, I would like, you know, have these tabs with Velcro on them. There'll be Velcro on the panel, and so you could just pop it up in there and maybe have a loop and just kind of pull it down, and possibly install a mount for a small fire extinguisher up in there, something, you know, you could, you know, reach in and get real quick. I'd like to have the trunk nice and clean. The battery's going to go up in there, so, you know, really nothing in the trunk except, you know, an ice chest for some beer, some lawn chairs for, you know, a car show, and that's about it. Super clean inside. So let's go ahead and kind of look at the other side. Come up with a couple ideas where this is going to kind of lay out, and then we'll start cutting some brackets up. I've already been over to Dave's and I've been up some 19 gauge and some little L brackets, and we can get to work on that. Okay, I already got a head start. I just took some strips of 2-inch cardboard, kind of hot glued them together in the lengths I need as it followed the bottom of the trunk area. And obviously that's the easy part, right? It's all flat. So now we're coming over to the fender well area. And the problem is These aren't even close to the same. Obviously we have the shark fin right here, but the other side rolls off at a different rate and it sticks out more here. But so we're just gonna make them generally look the same. So I kind of like this crease right here. I think I'll follow. So we're gonna come down here just like this, right down through here. And I've got a piece of cardboard angled towards this right here. I've been messing around with the chalk trying to figure out the best layout. So I think it's going to go something like that. So the panel will have a multiple, kind of a different shape to it. And, that's the beauty of the fiberglass, right? So let's go ahead and take the profile gauge and kind of profile this out here, right along that line. And get that up in there like that. And I need something that kind of looks like that. So there's a little bit of an angle there, but this will get me pretty close. We got to find a piece of cardboard big enough, and then we can cut that shape into it and kind of fit it up in here. And then this panel has to come out, so we can't go very far up inside there, to cover everything. So it's going to go to just about here, so we can reach in and pull this out without it, interfering up there. So we may be able to swing the back out and pull it out. So we'll see how far we can get it up inside there. But let me go ahead and get a piece of cardboard cut out to this shape, and we'll see if we can glue it onto that one, and we'll just inch our way around. Okay, so we got a piece in there, got a little magnet holding its spot, and I've got another piece here to go up inside there a little bit. Let's get this glued on. And I think we've got most of the hard part done here. All right, we're gonna let this cool a little bit, and then we're gonna see where we're at. I think it's looking pretty good so far, at least around this corner. And then I'm gonna have to grab the taillights to see how we're gonna go around the taillight boxes. But other than that, I think we're looking pretty good right now. Okay guys, I got that panel mocked up. I went ahead and grabbed the taillights. I put the taillight in and made this box here. Now the box isn't gonna be exactly like this. It's probably gonna go around the latch or over the top of the latch, I'm not sure. And this won't be a sharp corner. I'm pretty sure I'm going to round this. It'll be nice and smooth running over the top here. But I did need to kind of make this so I could figure out if I could get that panel in and out. And I can. So if you can see, it kind of stops right there and goes about 1.5 inches from the top. I don't even think I'll need a tab at the top. If I make it rigid enough, it'll kind of Velcro there, a couple across the bottom and over here, and maybe even Velcro to the side of this thing. It's just more for aesthetics. If something slides around in the trunk, certainly I don't want it banging into the quarter panel, but I think that's going to work out pretty good. So I went ahead and kind of mocked up. I took measurements from this side and kind of transferred them over to this side. Even though it's a different shape, I just kind of try to mimic it the best I can. So I've got the chalk lines in there. You see them going up. So I'm going to spend a few minutes making this side and kind of get that all done, and then we can start get in here with the welder and start welding some of these tabs in, and that's going to be getting us very close to being done in the trunk. I hope. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 other things I need to do, but then we can get serious about cleaning this up and spraying some DTM in the trunk and in the passenger compartment. All right, I got the other side done. It's looking pretty good. They match, kind of. They go along and then they turn a little bit and climb up there. So I think it's going to look good when it's all done. There's no way to make them exactly the same, but I won't be looking in the trunk that much. So I got the tabs ready. So I've got quite a few of these tabs I made up. I'm going to plug weld right through that hole into the base there. And I made some of these tabs without the bend on it for around the wheel well there because there's really no flat area to weld that on. So some of them are going to be in an extreme angle, so I've got a few of those for that. So I've got the spacing. You can see one there, one in the middle, one there, and one there. And then I went ahead, even though I thought I didn't need it, I went and made a tab for the top. And you can see this is broke over. This is actually a leftover piece from the piece I cut out of there. And I just chopped off so it'll give me some strength, lateral strength, I guess, so it doesn't bounce. And then that will go up underneath right here, right about here, and point down. And we'll spot weld that right here and here. So we won't plug weld it, we'll just spot weld it. I can reach it. And that'll take care of the top. So let's get the welder out and start getting these things welded in and then see how it all works out. Okay, they're just going to go right up against this edge right here, this factory edge where the pinch weld is. And so I'll just kind of tack them in place, move along. It won't take much to hold them in. Okay, this one's going to be a little tough. It's at a pretty good angle. I'm going to set the angle finder to give me an estimate. I'll tack it and then I'll bend it into place. All right, those were the easy ones, and now I got to figure out how to do these. Oh, that's hot. Okay, all we got to do is get this piece on, and this side is done. So let me grab the spot welder, and we'll get that set up. All right, let's see if I can find it in here. Right there. It's nice and solid in there. Okay, one side is done. I'm going to bust the other side out real quick, and then we're going to take a look at the whole thing and see how it turned out. Okay, we got all the tabs in, both sides. They're going to work out really good, I think. Little buttons of Velcro stuck on there and then stuck on the panel. You can see the little bracket hanging down there, the little tab. So they pop in and out pretty easily. Now I'm just going to figure out what to make those out of, and then that'll be a little side job in between other stuff. Okay guys, that pretty much wraps up this video, and getting one more step closer to spraying some DTM inside the trunk and inside the passenger compartment. Every time I think I'm getting close to doing it, I think of something else. And while I was working on this, I thought, oh, you got to still have to build the battery box and figure out how that's going to go in there. So one more thing to do, but we'll get there one way or the other. If you guys have any ideas, you have any experience making a panel like this out of, whether it's fiberglass or whatever, drop me a comment. I'd love to hear your ideas on it. Leaning towards fiberglass, but if you guys got a better idea, I'd love to hear it. Thanks for joining me here at Foothill Paint Fabrication. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. Mash that bell and drop me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. We'll see you on the next one.